What is it?
Prince James's men. We just found their bodies.
Where?
The Devil's Armchair.
The tour group found the bodies?
Yes.
Did you notice anything suspicious about people's reactions?
Let me see. Everyone seemed pretty surprised, but particularly Lady Howard. It was quite a performance now that I think about it.
I'll go check it out.
Can I come?
It might be more productive if you stay here and keep an eye on things. You don't mind, do you?
No. Guess that would be smart.
Atta girl. I'll be back soon.
Be careful.
Ils avaient les gorges tranchées. Non, je n'ai vu aucune trace de sang. Je n'en ai aucune idée. Vraiment aucune idée. D'accord, c'est bon. Au revoir.
She's talking to somebody, probably on his cell phone, but she's being pretty quiet about it. I can't make it out.
No, I can't help it. You don't understand how sensitive I am. No one understands.
Just try to put it out of your mind.
Am I a stone that I feel nothing? Or a director, perhaps? No, I'm an artist. I have trained myself for years to empathize, Estelle, empathize. It's a gift, I tell you.
I understand.
No, you don't! The pain! I feel it right here! Oh, the sight of the throats, Estelle! The throats!
You must calm yourself. Why don't you take a hot bath?
No, I must rest. Oh, perhaps if I close my eyes.
All right. Just lie still a moment.
Monsieur Knight? Oh, did you hear the news most horrible? They say at the armchair they find 2 dead bodies. Oh, I shudder to think on it. Oh.
It does kind of suck, doesn't it?
Oh, monsieur, you so mildly are putting it. I am relieved I saw no such thing. And lucky for you, monsieur, that you stay at the hotel this morning.
Uh-huh. I have a way of missing the boat. Is that all you've heard about it?
Ah, who could talk of such things? The guests, I believe they are all most traumatized.
Maybe not all of them.
Vorrei parlare con il Ministero degli Affari Esteri. Padre Grenna, sono padre Buchelli. Come stai? Bene, molto bene. Sì, sono ancora qui. Si sono verificati degli avvenimenti straordinari. Ci sono stati degli omicidi. 2 uomini. Li ho visiti proprio io, questa mattina. Non ne ho la più pallida idea, ma penso che sia importante. Non sembravano gente del posto. Non saprei. Di razza bianca, probabilmente dell'Europa. Ah, avevano la gola tagliata, ma non c'erano tracce di sangue. No, non credo proprio, ma cercherò di ottenere ulteriori informazioni. Questa è per ora la prima indicazione di attività. Sia che sia anche con lei. Arrivederci, padre Grenna.
Hey, Wilkes.
Knight, you missed the tour this morning, didn't you?
Slept in.
Yeah. Well, you never believe what happened. We was going to see this armchair, right? And we comes up over the hill and blam!
I heard.
Shit! You should have seen it, mate. Worst damn thing I ever saw. And I've seen some things.
I bet.
They was just sitting there. These gashes across their throats like big red smiles or something. It was horrible.
Throats cut?
That's right. Say, why don't you take a load off, have a drink?
No, thanks. But I appreciate the info.
Yeah. No problem. Bocelli, over here.
Ciao. It was a most interesting tour, no?
You said it. I needed a drink myself. Fortification. Care to join me?
See, my ramparts too are a trifle crumbly at the moment.
Funny how things work out. Thought today was going to be my lucky day.
How's that? Oh, yes, of course. Weren't you planning to try to, como se dice, consolidate your theory today?
That's right. I'm ready to go digging. Of course, I still will. This takes the steam out of my victory a bit.
It's certainly upsetting. Do you have any idea who those two men were?
Not a frigging clue. You?
I'm afraid not.
Well, here's to our health. Better them than us.
That's thinking positively, signori.
Good afternoon, Abbe Arnaud. How was the tour?
Surely you have heard, Mr. Knight.
Heard?
My goodness, man, we found two men. That is to say, the entire tour group stumbled upon... Well, two men have been brutally murdered.
Huh.
You are not surprised?
Well, should I be?
I don't know what you mean.
You ever meet these two men?
No, never.
And you don't know who might have,
You toy with me. You have heard. I don't appreciate your games, Mr. Knight.
Well, I'm not much for games myself.
Then let us terminate this discussion, eh? It has been a most trying day as it is.
Yeah, I know he's lying, but maybe I should let him stew for a while. I'll go get... There are some tire tracks in the dirt. That's the car Prince James's men arrived in. Mallory and McDougal could have parked the car here, but I don't know why they'd bother to hide it. It's more likely that the killers stashed it here. Maybe they grabbed Mallory and McDougal somewhere else and brought them here to be executed. Wow, pretty damn grim.
Christ! Did you do that on purpose?
Not at all.
So what the hell's up with this? I'm guessing these are Prince James' men. Am I right?
Yeah, for once.
Oh, so how'd they end up grinning with their larynxes?
Could be vampires.
Yeah? Not the kind what's-his-face wrote about.
That would be Stoker, Bram Stoker.
Thank you. Not the kind Stoker wrote about. Take a look at these guys.
I don't see any blood.
Yeah. Weird, huh? Throats opened up like a Christmas package and not a drop of the red stuff anywhere.
That's a clean gash.
And deep. Ooh, they knew what they were doing, all right.
They're both completely white.
That's because they've been drained like a couple of cans of tuna.
Curious.
I know what you're thinking. But if it was vampires, why the long gash? It'd be like trying to drink from the lip of a mixing bowl.
Maybe they got really big mouths. Like you.
Sure. A vampire cult founded by Mick Jagger. Oh, this all makes perfect sense to me now. Yeah.
Notice anything suspicious when the group saw the dead bodies?
Madeline sure as hell didn't want to leave. She looked like she was just itching to check things out. Fortunately, that Howard lady was throwing a hissy fit. Maddie didn't have much of a choice. Not sure why she'd be so interested in a couple of dead guys.
Oh? And why are you so interested?
I'm helping you.
Shit, Mose, get over here.
What is it? Is that what I think it is?
I think it's what you think it is. Looks like it. Ugh. They're pools of blood. There are two slightly curved indentations here.
Footprints?
I don't think so. Wrong shape.
So what are they?
Knee prints, of course. The assassins must have made them kneel, and then...
But there are no other prints. There should be some sign of a struggle, or at least the footprints of the assailants. Victims just wouldn't kneel down and be cooperative. Huh, Knight? What about the assailants?
Whoa, shit.
What?
Man.
What?
Nothing. Must be my imagination.
Man, you're even weirder than you were back in New Orleans. You know that?
Yeah, I do know that. Considering how friable the ground looks, I'd say that was a lot of blood soaked up, wouldn't you?
Yep. Maybe even all of it.
Which explains why there's no blood near the bodies.
Yeah, but geez, I thought the voodoo murders were strange. What do you make of this? Neat little piles? You know, like Felix Unger meets Freddy Krueger?
They obviously drained the blood here on purpose. The question is, why?
At least it rules out vampires.
Not necessarily. Maybe they're just picky eaters.
What's it smell like?
Not much. Earthy. Dead. Anyway, sure doesn't smell like wine. No way! Sticky. And red. I think that's about it. Guess I'll head out.
Sounds good to me. I'm surprised the cops haven't shown up yet.
Oh, they will. And I'm sure they will appreciate your thoughtful protection of the murder scene.
Hey, Madeline.
And what are you doing here, Monsieur Knight?
Why don't you call me Gabriel? This monsieur stuff is so French.
All right. What are you doing here, Gabriel?
I came to keep Moe's company. He's a bit squeamish, you know. Never could stand the sight of blood.
Shut up, you hoser.
I am beginning to think there is more to both of you than meets the eye.
Oh, there's more, all right. In my
Not you, animal.
head. So what brings you here, Madeline?
I came to wait for the police. They are French police, after all. So you and you, Monsieur Mosley, may feel you have done your duty. Au revoir. À bientôt. Toutle ou.
Your wish is my command.
By the way, Gabriel, can you tell me the two dead men's names?
Me?
I saw you and your little girlfriend talking to them last night in the parking lot.
Oh, see, Gracie, my assistant, caught a ride with them from Paris, but she didn't know them.
That sounds very odd to me, but perhaps the police will be more understanding.
Oh, come on. There's no need to waste their time. Maybe you and I can go over it more thoroughly later.
Very well. I look forward to it.
See you, Madeline.
Toodaloo.
Hey, could you... Shit. Give me a ride, will you?
Get on. Just make sure those hush puppies don't mar the chrome.
You used to be a lot funnier. You know that?
And you could touch your toes once. Shit happens.
No, I've got it. Hello?
Prince James, this is Gabriel Knight.
Mr. Knight, yes. Did Grace arrive safely last night?
She did. You haven't heard from your men, have you?
No. You did see them last night?
Yes, they dropped Grace at the hotel and took off. But I'm afraid I have bad news.
What is it?
Sir, your men were found dead this morning. It appears to have happened sometime in the night.
Oh my God. I don't understand.
I don't either. Let me tell you how they were found. There's this landmark out here called the Armchair of the Devil. This morning, completely drained. I didn't see any footprints, none at all. Prince James?
I'm here.
Have you received any blackmail or ransom notices?
No, I haven't.
Well, sir, I'm still looking into it. We're going to find your son. Is there anything else I should know?
No. No.
Because I'm willing to do whatever I can, but it'd be a lot easier if I knew.
Please, Gabriel, if you keep your eyes open for me, you will be well rewarded. Now I must go.
Hello? Prince James? Lord Stuart? Hell! Oh, hell! I'll go get the Harley.
Yes. Well, come in, Mr. Knight.
I'm afraid I can only spare a few moments.
I appreciate that. You know, a friend of mine, Grace, she drove into town yesterday with a couple of guys. Friends of Prince James of Albany. Real nice guys. Scottish, I think. Mallory and McDougal, I believe their names were.
Are you going somewhere with this, Mr. Knight?
I was wondering if you knew him.
No, I'm afraid not.
Perhaps it's unclear who I'm talking about. You must know them, because after they dropped off Grace last night, they came here. I saw you let them in.
2 men.
2 men. Last night.
Yes, a car did stop here last night. They asked directions. They were only here for a few minutes. Is there a problem?
Not for you, I suppose. Do you have any idea where Mallory and McDougal are now?
No. I gave them directions and they took off again. Have you seen them?
Yep.
Oh, where?
They're dead. Their bodies were found at the Devil's Armchair, just down the road.
My God.
You seem surprised.
Of course I'm surprised.
About those 2 men who stopped here last night?
Yes?
This may sound strange, but I was taking a walk by the parking area next door, and I thought I saw you all exchange an awfully complicated handshake. For 2 guys who stopped for directions, that is.
How dare you spy on me? I want you to leave. Now.
Are you a Freemason, Mr. Chester?
Now. Or must I call the police?
I think you know those men and Prince James. And I think you know the real reason those men were here. I'm trying to help Prince James myself, even if that means pissing people off.
Mr. Knight, I haven't the slightest idea who you are or what you're talking about.
Right. Uh-huh. Well, thanks for your time. Now, if I can just press the alarm button. 2 a.m. Got it.
Oh, Mr. Bowser, I'm so sorry. What a klutz I am.
It is quite all right. I was not paying attention.
Oh, no, it's my fault entirely. I was worrying about something else and not watching at all.
And Lady Howard, is she recovering?
Yes, she's resting quietly. Thank you.
I'm very glad to hear that. Good day, Miss Stiles.
Good day, Mr. Bowser.
I know it's difficult, but come back from the light, Gracie. Come back, come back.
All right. I was almost done anyway.
So what's it?
Hey, kids.
God.
What? You guys weren't about to discuss the case, were you?
Oh, go on, Grace. Tell us about the book.
Okay, check this out. Talk about wild. It ties together Freemasonry, the Templars, this group called the Priory of Sion, and like this bizarro theory about the Holy Grail. Well, what do you want to hear about first?
What's this got to do with the Templars and the Freemasons?
Okay, according to the book, the Templars were the founders of Scottish Rite Freemasonry, and when they were persecuted, some of them fled to Scotland and changed their name.
What's that got to do with Rennes-le-Château?
Only that whatever is going on here, the Freemasons are obviously still involved. Some secret knowledge must have been passed down through the organization.
So, what's this Grail theory you mentioned?
Okay, now, the Grail. Are you ready for this?
Go on.
The Grail is supposed to be a vessel, right? Like a cup, and it contains the blood of Jesus.
Yeah, go on.
The book suggests that the Grail is an allegory for an esoteric secret, a secret so heretical that it had to go underground throughout the Middle Ages. It was passed along as the legend of the Grail.
And that secret is?
That Jesus had descendants. The Grail itself is an allegory of the womb of Mary Magdalene. Okay. In other words, her womb, right, the cup, contained his blood, or rather bloodline. His heirs.
Get out of town.
Kinky. I'm not sure I want to know, but who or what is the Priory?
The Priory of Sion is an offshoot of the Templars. See, they split off before the Templar persecution, way back in 1188. The Priory returned to France from the Holy Land and set up a bunch of monasteries here.
What's that got to do with now?
Well, the Priory still exists, and they seem to have some kind of major agenda going on with Rennes-le-Château.
So what's the Priory's agenda in Rennes-le-Château?
I'm not sure exactly. But whatever it is, it probably has something to do with the bloodline.
Is anyone actually buying this stuff about Jesus having descendants?
Sounds pretty Looney Tunes to me.
Whether it's true or not is not the point. The point is these secret societies believe it, in a big way. Okay, look, Mary Magdalene came here, right, after the crucifixion?
That's what they say.
Okay, so she brings the kids, or maybe she's pregnant. Her descendants intermarry with local nobility and become the Merovingian dynasty.
The Merovingians are supposed to be descendants of Jesus?
Yes, and the Catholic Pope betrayed and murdered them, but some of their line survived.
You're losing me.
Sorry, Mose, I'm on a roll. Okay, so the Merovingian survivors hid in this region and had backers here. Well, it could explain why so many heretics kept cropping up in the Languedoc, like the Cathars and the Templars, and Rome kept trying to wipe them out to bury the secret of the bloodline.
Gee, those wacky popes, you just can't trust them.
Maybe it's those funny hats, all that weight up there on their head.
Fine. I'll shut up now.
What's this got to do with the Templars and the Freemasons and Priory of Sion again?
They're all supporters of the bloodline, dedicated to getting the bloodline back on the throne. The Templars were probably founded to find proof of the bloodline's genealogy. That's why they were excavating under the Temple of Solomon. And the Crusades would have been the perfect cover.
Proof? Like what? A 2,000-year-old birth certificate with the father listed as the son of God?
Jesus was of the royal house of David, and if he had children, it would have been in the temple records.
If the Priory and the Templars were both supporters of the bloodline, then how come they split up?
I don't know. Maybe they had a falling out.
Like Martin Luther and the Catholics.
Paul Simon and Art Garfunkel.
The professor and Mr. Howell.
Don't start.
Here's a random thought. That whole argument between Prince James's men and the Abbé, if the men were Freemasons, could the Abbé be Priory?
Maybe. But I was thinking that Montreux might be Priory.
Montreux?
Yeah, he's the owner of the local winery, Chateau de Serres. There was just something weird about that place.
I'll have to check it out.
Besides, if the Priory and the Freemasons are both supporters of the bloodline, why would they be ripping each other's throats out?
I don't think they're that friendly, Mose. They may have started out in bed together, but that doesn't mean they always agree.
Oh, kind of like the U.S. and England.
Reagan and Bush.
Hardcastle and McCormick.
Siegfried and Roy.
All right already.
How does this relate to the treasure?
The authors think Saunier found the Templar treasure all right, but it wasn't gold. It was ancient genealogy charts from the Temple of Solomon, which Saunier then used to, get this, blackmail the Catholic Church. Or maybe he sold the documents to people like the Priory or the Masons.
Well, it's a theory. Was there anything else I should know about the book?
Oh, maybe just one small thing. Listen. Many of the prominent families in Europe today claim Merovingian descent, including the Habsburg-Lorraines, Wittelsbachs, Plantards, and Montesquieux in France, the Sinclair family in Britain, and the Stuarts of Scotland.
The Stuarts? Prince James is a bloodline descendant?
Holy genealogies, Batman.
Whoa, it does kind of change the whole picture, doesn't it?
I really need to go.
You catching a train?
No, I just,
I still want to read a bit more. So let's meet back here at 5, shall we?
Sure. See ya.
There's something up with him.
Go figure. What the hell are you doing?
Playing harmonica.
Okay, stupid question. Why are you taking Mosley's prints?
The guy is about as innocent as a French dance troupe. I don't know what he's guilty of, but he's guilty of something.
He's not on Sydney's suspect list.
Well, gee, guess he can't be a suspect then, can he?
Meaning that you can't scan that print in. Leave it on the desk and I'll add him in later.
Got it. This print doesn't look anything like the one I got off Puccelli's suitcase. It must be Wilkes's glass. I'll mark it. Interesting conversation. Hey, that should work. Say, Jean, do you guys do wake-up calls? Maybe you could have Simone buzz the room for me about 2 a.m.?
Certainement.
You won't let me down now, will ya?
Oh, most assuredly, monsieur. I forget nothing.
I'll go get the Harley. Estelle stopped in the middle of nowhere, as far as I can tell. Looks like we got us another treasure hunter. Hi, Estelle. Everything okay?
Did you follow me here, Mr. Knight?
Me? I just stopped to see if you needed help.
I do not need help, but thank you for your concern.
Don't mention it. So, how come Lady Howard's not with you? Kinda joined at the hip, ain't you?
She's had a very difficult morning. I would have stayed with her, but time is of the essence.
How did you meet Lady Howard, anyway?
Her family was the largest landholders in my village. I knew her growing up, of course, but we never played together. She made quite a name for herself on the stage, you know, when she was younger.
Huh.
And I was working in London myself as a nurse. I went to see her perform. Well, we became friends. When my father died and left me the cottage, we moved back to Hampstead. It's not exactly the manor she was born to, but it was sold years ago. Ironically, it's on the market again.
Does Lady Howard still perform?
Well, she's taking a break from her career.
I don't believe in the treasure myself. All that stuff about ciphers and nonsense.
Saunier didn't conjure that money.
Well, I'm not saying he didn't find something, but what if he took all there was?
I don't believe it. There's got to be something here,
And we've got to find it? Why is that, Miss Stiles?
It's none of your business. I'm sorry, but that's all I'm going to say about it.
So, what's out here?
You can see for yourself.
Doesn't look like anything to me. But then you wouldn't be here if that was the case now, would you?
Some people don't care to tell other people their business.
Oh, that's kind of rude, isn't it? It was a perfectly friendly question.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's just that Lily really prefers we keep our business to ourselves. Some people can be ruthless, you know, particularly...
Men?
Well, now that you've said so yourself.
So this is the spot you and Lady Howard are betting your treasure hunting dollars on, huh?
Really? I wish you wouldn't ask such things.
Hey, just curious.
Je regrette, mais nous sommes fermés.
I have no idea what you just said, but
Yes, what is it you want?
My name's Knight. I'm a reporter. I'm doing a feature on Languedoc wineries, and I'd love to include you in my spread.
I'll see if the chateau owner is free.
Bonjour, Monsieur Knight. I'm Excelsior Montreux, the owner and viticulturist of Chateau de Serre.
Nice of you to see me, Mr. Montreux. I should have made an appointment, but I get better results just knocking about. The best places don't advertise.
Ah, well, how true. Now allow me to take you to the wine tasting room. Marceau?
What would you like to serve, sir?
Ah, are you a red man or a white? No. Let me guess. Red, yes?
Gosh, it shows, huh?
Do you like it dry?
Oh, hell, I'd drink dust if I could.
Well, let's see then. Perhaps the 76 Merlot.
Yes, sir.
I'm terribly sorry that you caught us unprepared today. We were about to shut the main gate.
Everything's all right, I hope?
Oh, yes. Here, anyway. The constable called a little while ago. There was a murder in the vicinity last night.
A murder?
It's very unusual, I assure you. But I suppose even here we're not immune. Oh, well, we should let it breathe for a moment.
Right. Nothing worse than suffocated wine. Are you from this area, Mr. Montreux?
Yes and no. I grew up in Paris, but my family has owned this estate for decades. My wife and I permanently settled here some years ago. Children do take pleasure in the country air.
Oh, you got kids?
Oh, yes. A beautiful daughter who is away at school, and my firstborn son, Enoch. He's 12. Have you children?
No.
But you must. Oh, children are every man's right to immortality.
Well, it's not the kid part I mind so much as the marriage part.
Oh, no, a wife need not be a burden if she knows her place. Her role is to serve you, after all, to care for home and heirs and leave a man to pursue nobler things.
Boy, do we live in different worlds. What kind of training do you need to be a viticulturist?
The lessons I consider most valuable came from my father. He was quite a master.
What exactly is viticulture?
You are a wine critic, aren't you?
Oh, yeah. I mean, what's your definition?
Well, to me, viticulture is about breeding, and I don't mean the mechanics of grafting. Grafting is only a tool. What's meaningful is the essence of the two vines you're combining. There are literally thousands of grapes, and most viticulturists choose from well-known stock. But my father always bred his own grapes, and has passed down some very rare species.
I'm fascinated.
Really? Well, I don't want to bore you.
I'd like to hear more about your breeding program.
You won't reveal my secrets?
For my ears only.
Very well. The secret is in mixing the best strains, of course. But there is an art to it. My father taught me to visualize the ideal grape. Once you can visualize this perfect fruit, you can analyze even the best stock and see where it is lacking, in color or body, for example. Or perhaps it could be just a touch sweeter or lighter. And the trick is to find a grape equally fine, but one which is perfect in exactly those areas which the first grape is flawed. The marriage of these two vines will produce an heir, and then this heir undergoes the same process, you see.
Don't you ever get where you're going?
Eventually. But even in the interim, your grape will soon be far superior to anyone else's. Try the wine, Mr. Knight.
Wow, that's good.
This fruit did not come about by accident. It is the result of thousands, even millions of crossbreedings. Everything that it is today is a result of that hereditary tree. Don't you think it is ironic that a grape, or even a dog or a cat, art should be so carefully bred, but that most humans depend on such a silly thing as love.
Then again, there is something to be said for spontaneity.
Is there?
You know, hearing you talk, it reminds me of something. What is it?
Alchemy? The transmutation of the philosopher's stone?
Nope, that's not it. It was Ask Mr. Science. Y'all get that program here?
Television? I'm afraid not.
Well, they had this bit about DNA. Kind of how DNA has this funny pasta shape, but it's really billions and billions of instructions, kinda. You get into DNA with your breeding program at all?
Actually, DNA is an interesting issue, Mr. Knight. Did you know that the magic alchemists used was based on an intuitive understanding of the principles of DNA?
I'll be darned.
But to answer your question, no. I have my own ways of testing the vines, and they're far older and more traditional than DNA testing.
I ran into an interesting tourist angle today. Seems the Holy Grail is supposed to be around here.
Oh, the Grail is a marvelous legend. But most stories are ignorant of the true meaning of the Grail. You see, the Grail has far less to do with Christ than with an idea. The fountain of youth, the eternal flame, the philosopher's stone.
All of those are related to the Grail?
Oh, yes. The Grail is that thing, that one thing, or whatever symbol you use for it, that represents completion, perfection, the absolute. Do you understand now?
Well, no, not really.
Turning base lead into pure gold. That is the alchemist's aim. But it's not about real lead and real gold. It's symbolic. Man is the lead. God is the gold. Man to God. That is the alchemist's goal. That is the Holy Grail.
Huh. But I thought with the Grail, it was actually the blood. The blood in the Grail that was the immortal thing.
Well, of course. The blood is the elixir of life, the juice of the forbidden fruit.
The juice of the forbidden fruit?
No, never mind. Dusty old theories are a hobby of mine. Let's stick to the wine, shall we?
Do you believe the stories about a local treasure?
Indeed. It is in my soil, monsieur.
Do you know anything about the murder?
No, not really. There were two men, neither of them from here by the sound of it. Excuse me. Allo, ici Excelsior. Oui. Préparez Enoch pour sa leçon. Forgive me, I'm afraid I must return to the house. The news of the murder has quite upset my wife. Besides, my son awaits his afternoon lesson.
Well, thanks for the interview, Mr. Montreux.
You're most welcome. Au revoir, Mr. Knight.
Kind of a nice fella.
So where's Mosley?
Hey guys, it's 5.
Thank you, O guardian of the clock.
Okay, don't start, you two. I want to hear what happened.
You mean at Chateau de Serras? You're right. The guy's probably into one of these secret societies. You should have heard him go on about alchemy, but I don't know. He seemed more bookish than anything.
I say anyone who's involved with these secret societies is a big suspect.
Speaking of which, Larry Chester is definitely lying. He said McDougal and Mallory just stopped by last night for directions. I couldn't get him to crack.
Who's this? Chester?
That's right.
Interesting. I'll get started on the treasure angle. Check out the museum and church tonight. That book really got my juices flowing.
So that's what it takes.
Huh?
So, are we gonna eat or what? I'm starved.
Well, actually, Grace and I had talked about catching up.
That's okay, Mose. I want to stick with my research for a while. Why don't you and Gabriel go?
I can wait till later if you...
No, I think that's a great idea. In fact, I think we should be going right now, shouldn't we, Mose?
See ya.
See, Grace, maybe after dinner?